I was born in 1994 to a Hispanic mother who had just turned 23 and was still in college. My father was 8 years older, white, authoritative, and hardly present throughout my life. I was a cute child but endured abuse and feel I didn't have much of a childhood. My parents fought often and I spent the majority of my time hiding in my room reading books. My religious upbringing was a mashup of Catholicism and mysticism that is typical for this region, and my first communion was a proud moment for my mom, but I didn't care. I gave up Catholicism and all organized religion at age 12. Despite this, I graduated from Catholic school after attending for 11 years. I was a top student and my intelligence was my defining characteristic. The only time I received praise from my parents was for getting good grades. During my time at that school, my grandma really helped raise me because both my parents worked. She's the second from me in this picture. I was embarrassed of her when she would pick me up because she was poor and everyone at my school was rich, but she truly loved me, accepted me, and supported me in every way when no one else did, and we were close my entire life while she was alive. She and her mother next to her were migrant workers and lived hard lives. I loved hearing my Nana's stories about her life. Knowing her really helped me to know myself. I went to summer camp every summer from the age of 9 till 16. My parents scraped pennies together so I could go, and one summer we couldn't afford it. It was really disappointing because those summers were my escape from a horrible home life and I lived for them. As a preteen, I was sent to a psychiatric ward for a suicide attempt. I was a very depressed kid from the age of 7. I still struggle with this issue, and this picture captures how I feel a lot of the time. When I was 13, I realized if I wanted to live to be an adult, I needed to move out of the valley. I asked my parents to send me to boarding school, and when I turned 14, I moved to New Hampshire by myself. This is the road leading to my school. This was my first friend at boarding school, Jen. My parents were separating. I was always concerned with their financial issues, and I felt guilt for leaving my 4-year-old sister behind to the same childhood I had. She helped me get through it all and introduced me to the best friends I've ever had in my life. This is my group from high school. Out of 100 students, these 6 people made my days there the best in my life to date. Deggy, Matt, Jackson, Abby, Jen, and Dennis were incredible people, but I only talk to 3 of them now. Letting go of friendships is the hardest thing for me to do because it's hard for me to make friends, but I hold on to the memories fondly. These are my dorm mates from high school. We had the craziest times and were always in minor trouble. They allowed me to fully be myself, and I'm still in touch with everyone from this picture except one. High school in New Hampshire was different from regular school. We ended class at 1 p.m. every day to spend 4 hours outside pursuing different physical activities. Rock climbing and cross-country skiing were my favorite sports, and I felt so accomplished when I did them. At this school, I was still a top student, but I could do other things besides be smart. Boarding school made me feel like a multifaceted person. After my parents divorced, my family was very tight on money. My mom and sister could only afford to visit me once at school when everyone else's parents would come by often. Here we are in Boston that one time. At this point, my relationship with my mom was still rocky, and my sister, being only 3 when I moved away, was a complete stranger to me. I was lucky though because I was able to earn a scholarship that allowed me to stay at boarding school when my parents split. I even got to go to France with my French class. Here we are at Versailles. This is the night before my high school graduation. I graduated top of my class with honors in every subject, the school's award for courage, and a full ride to NYU. Though I lived away for years, I still felt Texas pride and even got a Texas tattoo when I turned 18 so I could take home with me wherever I went. After I graduated, I went to Korea on a full scholarship to study at Yonsei University and explore the country. It was an eye-opening experience and my first time traveling abroad on a whim. Fall of 2012, I started at NYU. This is the view from one of my dorm rooms. Moving there was a huge adjustment and I was very depressed again. My drug use, which had started when I was 14, got very bad and I had to leave school to go to rehab. After rehab, I spent all my part-time job money and ran away to China. I flew 20 hours by myself and navigated the country alone at times. I met up with friends from high school in different Chinese cities. Here we are in Shanghai. I went back to NYU but soon lost my scholarship trying to juggle AA and academics, plus I was off my antidepressant medication. I moved back to Texas February 2015. That same month my Nana died. That March, I did a cross-country road trip to LA with my best friend Jasmine, whom I had reconnected with after high school. We got sober together and then we went to the Grand Canyon together. I felt like even though I wasn't in school, I was still growing. Then my best friend and first friend from high school, Jen, killed herself in April 2015. I stopped talking to everyone and didn't leave my room until about the end of summer 2015. That, along with the adjustment of moving back home after living on my own for 7 years, was so hard. I was so depressed at the prospect of never moving back to New York, moving back in with my family, and possibly having to go to UTRGV. With the help of my mom and therapy and Jasmine and everyone who loves me, I've come to accept that this is my life. I'm really close with my mom and sister now, even though I don't talk to my dad anymore, and I have some friends in the valley. I still hope to move away sometime soon, but for now I'm here, and this is my life, and that's okay.